All right, today we're going to be talking about 7.2, simplifying expressions. The key word here is simplifying. Does simplifying mean to evaluate your answer?
Yes.
It actually does not. Evaluate means to solve it. Simplify means to make it more simple. So today we're going to talk about simplifying expressions. There are some very specific words that you're going to want to know. The first one is term. Read to me what a term is. Parts of the expression being added together. Okay, so read me what the different parts of the expression are that are added together. The first one is x. The next one is 4x. The next one is 8. The next one is
-10.
Thank you for telling me -10, because every number has a sign, and what? That sign is directly in front of that number. So that's going to be really important. If you ever see a negative sign, make sure you take it with that number. The last term that's up there is a 3x. Good job. So now we're going to kind of break things down a little bit more. The first one is a variable term. This is a term with a variable in it. Does anyone remember what a variable is? A letter. Okay, so anytime you see a letter. For here, my letters are X's. It doesn't have to be an X. It could be a Y. It could be L, M, N, O, P. It could be any letter of the alphabet. So this, what are my variable terms there? X, 4x, 3x. Good job, okay? The next one, coefficient. Read to me what a coefficient is.
The number part of the variable term.
Okay, so look, this first one says x, but I put a number in front of it. What number did I put in front of it? 1x. Okay, so here you can see, if I count up how many x's there are there, how many x's are there?
3.
There's 1x right there, okay? So that means the coefficient, or the number in part of it, is just a 1, okay? What is the coefficient of 4x? 4. Only the number part. Don't tell me the x. Great job. What's the coefficient of 3x? 3. Tati, what is the coefficient of 30y? 30, because it's the number part. Jakari, what is the coefficient of 20m? 20, because it's whatever the number part is, okay? So that's a coefficient. The constant. Read me what a constant is. A number that stands alone. So looking at my first example right up here, who can tell me which ones are my constants? 8 and -10, okay? Because this is a number that stands by itself, and thank you for telling me -10, because that negative went with the 10, okay? So those are my constants. They stand alone. Now here's the main thing that I'm wanting you to get from this. It's trying to figure out what the like terms are. Read to me what like terms are. Terms with the same variable raised to the same power. Okay, so you'll look right here. I have 2x squared, 4x squared, 3x squared. Those all have the same exact variable raised to the same power. That has an x squared, that has an x squared, that has an x squared. So those right there are going to be terms that are like terms. What are the other two that you can see right there that are alike? 5 and 6. Because they're both what?
Constant.
A constant. A constant, if you remember, is a number that stands alone, okay? So we're going to be able to find out here in just a couple minutes what like terms are and how to figure out what the coefficients and the constants are of those. So let's look right now. Number 1 asks me, identify the coefficients, the constant terms, and the like terms of the expression. The first thing that I want us to do is find things that are alike. So, looking at problem A, 15 minus 9r plus 7r minus 6. Can anyone tell me what my variable terms are? Remember, that's something that has a letter in it. What do you think?
9,
Not 9r. Every number has a sign, and that sign is directly in front of that number. Okay, I want everybody to underline the like terms. Negative 9r, and what was the other one you said? 7r is correct. Good job. Okay, what else is like terms up there? Something that's like each other. What do you think?
15 and -6.
You are correct. Thank you for telling me -6. So I want you to circle those like terms. So tonight on your homework, it's going to ask the same exact instructions that you see here. The first thing that I want you to do is find the like terms. So we're just going to put those in parentheses. Every time I want you to do the variable term first, okay? And then you'll do the constant at the end. So in parentheses, we're going to go ahead and put like terms down, negative 9r, comma, 7r, because those are alike. They both have an r in them. The other like terms are what, guys? 15 and negative 6, because they're constants. They're numbers that stand all alone by themselves. Now my instructions have asked me to find the coefficient. I want you to look back at your notes and read to me, what is a coefficient? The number part of a variable term. I am not asking for what the variable is. I'm only asking for the number part of a variable term. What is it? Negative 9 and 7. Good job. For this one, I do not want you to tell me the r. The coefficient, once again, it says it's the number part of a variable term. Okay? What are my constants, Kayla?
Constants is 15 and negative 6.
You're right, because a constant is a number that stands alone. 15 stands by itself. Negative 6 stands by itself. And now you have just identified or figured out by looking for what the like terms are, the coefficients and the constants. Okay, problem B says x plus 4 minus 2x minus 10. Does x have a coefficient in front of it? No, it doesn't. How many x's are there if it says x? No, that's not 2. How many is there? 1. It has an understood number 1 in front of it. You can put a number 1 right there. Anytime it's a plain old x, that means there's only one of them that's there. All right? So let's find the like terms. I want us to underline the variable term that is a like term. Addison, what is it? 1x, and what's the other one?
2.
Be careful. Every number has a sign, and that sign's directly in front of it. Negative 2x. Good job. And then what are my constants that are alike? You are correct, all right? So now that we've figured that out, we've underlined, we've circled, we're going to go ahead and write our like terms down. So the first one that was like term was my x. You can put 1x if you want, you don't have to, and negative 2x. The other ones were 4 and negative 10. Okay, guys, what is a coefficient? The number part of a variable term. Remember, a variable is anything that has a letter in it. So, what are my coefficients, guys?
2 and 1.
X and 2x.
Okay, you're saying x and negative 2x, but I only want the number part. So, what's the number part of x?
1
A 1, and the other one is? Negative 2. Remember the part about every number has a sign. That sign's directly in front of that number, okay? The next one, constants. Read me what a constant is. A number that stands alone. What are my constants, guys?
Negative 10.
Okay, try to always do it in order of what the problem looks like. 4 and negative 10. Let's go on to the next one. Simplify the expression. What it's asking us to do here is simplify the expression in red. Read me what it says. Combine like terms, add the coefficients or constants. Okay, so we're going to be trying to combine some like terms here. Is there anything that you can see that is like terms on this?
7c
And negative 3c.
Okay, so you can use your, one of the properties that we learned. Which property tells me that we can switch around the order?
commutative.
The commutative property, okay? So what would be a like up here if I switch something around?
7c minus 3c.
7c minus 3c, okay? Those are like terms because they both have a c in them. Then you're switching that with plus 9. Now we are going to, as it says in the red, combine like terms. So we're going to add the coefficients or the constants. What is 7c minus 3c? 4c. And what else is still left up there?
Plus 9.
Plus 9. That's your answer. I did not ask you to evaluate it. All I've asked you to do is simplify the expression. Okay, so you're able to switch around the order like that. If not, I'm going to show you another way. This is the way that I prefer to do it. But if you would rather switch around the order by using your commutative property, that's fine with me too. Let's look at the next one. I want us to underline like terms and circle like terms. Let's do the variable term first. What's the first variable term that you see there?
4ac.
not 4a.
Oh, negative.
Negative 4a, because why? Every number has a sign,
That's
and that sign is directly in front of that number. Everyone say that. Every number.
Has a sign, and the sign is directly in front of the number.
Okay, so the first one is negative 4a. What's the other one?
plus
6a. Let's circle the other ones. What else is like terms?
15 and negative 25.
15 and negative 25. Okay, so every time I want you to do the variable term first, and the constant, which is the number part, will go at the end. So let's do negative 4a plus 6a. Here we're going to be using our rule. What is our song that we use to help us out?
negative.
Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract. Take the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. Okay, so same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract and take. What is negative 4a plus 6a?
2a.
2a. Okay, you subtracted and you took the sign of the bigger number. Same thing happens with the next one. 15 minus 25. Is that same sign or different sign?
Different.
Different sign. Subtract and take. What's your answer?
Negative 10.
Negative 10. And you have simplified it. Problem C says 8b plus b minus 4b plus 10. First thing, let's underline like terms.
8b and negative 4b. Oh, and 1b.
And, oh, thank you for saying 1b. If you want, you can put a little 1 in there so we have understood there's only 1b there. So the coefficient is going to be a 1. Okay, anything else that's alike? No, poor plus 10 is all by itself. All right, so let's combine those like terms first. What's 8b plus 1b?
9b.
Minus 4b,
5b.
5b. And what else is left?
Plus
Plus 10, and you have simplified your expression. Questions? Okay, the next one's a little bit trickier. This is what it says. 3x plus 2y minus 5x plus 8y minus 15. Can anyone tell me why this one is trickier than the other ones that we have done? What do you think?
Because there's different variables.
There's a lot more variables than there have been previously. So we're still going to go ahead. We're going to go through and find like terms. Jakari, help me out. What are my like terms?
3x, 2y, negative 5x.
Hold on. Like terms means they have to be alike. What else is like 3x? Negative 5x. Do you see anything else that has an x in it? Just plain old x. Nope, so that's it for my x's. Let's go on to my y's. What's my like terms for the y's?
2y
2y
and 8y.
and 8y. Is anything else like terms? Nope, poor negative 15 is all by itself, okay? So let's go ahead and do this together. What is 3x minus 5x?
Negative 2.
Negative 2x. Let's do our y's now. 2y plus 8y.
10.
Positive, negative,
Positive.
plus 10y
Minus 15.
minus 15. All right, the next ones are going to be slightly different. If you look at problem E, what looks different about problem E from all of the other kinds of problems that I've had so far? There are parentheses inside of there. How many of you remember the distributive property? If you remember, the number outside the parentheses, which is this right here, has to be multiplied by everything inside the parentheses. So it's got to be multiplied by that, and it's got to be multiplied by that. So let's look at the first one. 5 times w minus 4. Let's look first. Inside my parentheses, is there any work that I can work inside here? Can I find any like terms inside of w minus 4? Nope, there's no like term. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my distributive property. What is 5 times w?
5.
5w. Okay, you're multiplying it together. Now, what is 5 times negative 4?
Negative. No, 20.
Negative 20, because when you have only one negative, the negative stays there. If you have an even number of negatives, it turns positive. So let's bring everything else down. Plus w and plus 8. Now I have a problem that looks exactly like everything that I have done so far. So let's combine our like terms. Kayla, help me out. What are my like terms? 5W and W. And remember, what understood coefficient comes before the W? The number what? No. How many W's do I have right here? 1. Okay, so you can put a number 1 right there if that helps you, so we know what the coefficient is, okay? And what are my other like terms?
Negative 20 and 8.
Negative 20 and 8. Good job. Thank you for telling me the negative. All right, so let's figure this out, guys. What is 5W plus W? 6W. Negative 20 plus 8. Think about it. Same sign, add and keep. Different signs, subtract and take.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. So your answer is 6W minus 12. Okay, let's go ahead and do the distributive property on this first one. 3 times 2x, what is that? 6x. 3 times 5.
15.
Okay, so plus 15. And bring everything else down. Plus 6x minus 15. Remember, if you want to, you can use the commutative property and switch things around, or you can just do it in your head. Like terms, what do I have here? First off, use the variable term. What's a like? 6x and 6x. What else is my like terms? 15 and negative 15. Let's just go ahead and do something real quick. A number and its opposite always equals what? 0. So let's just cross that out and pretend it's not there anymore. A number and its opposite equals 0. Pretend it's not there. Now the last part, what's 6x plus 6x? 12x, and that's your final answer. Okay, I had a few people who were putting plus 0 or minus 0. You don't need that part. If you remember, the identity property says you can get rid of plus 0 or minus 0, and you're going to still have the same answer. So your correct answer was 12x. Last one for today. 15 minus 2a times 3a plus 10 minus 3a plus 6a minus 5. Whew, that's a lot. Let's go ahead and look at the first section in parentheses. Addison, is there any work that I can do inside my parentheses? That's correct. My like terms are 3a and negative 3a. Do you guys see that that's a number and its opposite? A number and its opposite always equals? 0. So I'm just going to go ahead and pretend those are no longer there. So now I'm going to bring everything else down and working it out. Notice I've now gotten rid of 3a and negative 3a. So let's bring everything else down. 15 minus, let's look at the next part. What is 2a times 10?
Negative 28.
Okay, negative 20a. And then bring everything else down. Plus 6a minus 5. So right now, what are my like terms on this problem, class?
28 plus 6.
Not 20a. Negative 20a and 6a. And what else should I circle?
Negative 5.
15 and negative 5. So, do the variable term first. What is negative 20a plus 6a?
Negative 14.
Negative 14a. What is 15 minus 5? Plus 10. Okay, so your answer is negative 14a plus 10. This is your homework assignment for tonight, so I want you to go ahead and write this down. 7.2, pages 324 to 325. Numbers 7 through 12 all, 22, 24, 38, and 43. It's just 10 problems, and that's everything you need for 7.2.